Hi everyone, this is Kayla, and for my service evaluation report, I interviewed someone who works in the advising and career services at Bellingham Technical College. So I interviewed Cheryl Alvis, who's an administrative assistant for the Advising and Career Services office, which actually just got brought into a merged department. We'll talk about that a little later. So it's actually called Entry and Student Success or something like that now, but Advising and Career Services is where she started and continues. So she coordinates all of the career fairs for the campus. She works with the employers to advertise their positions and openings both on and on campus, as well as internships, and then help students connect to those. She is the one and only support staff for all of the advising and counseling and navigators, all the things we're going to talk about. And she actually went through BTC's administrative assistant program a few years ago. BTC, she says, actually saved her life. It was a either do this, go to school, or go to jail kind of thing. And that's something she very proudly shares as well. So this is not the organizational chart for student services. This is just specifically the groups that participate in some kind of career development with the students. So the ones on the far end, the blue, are the actual staff, well, most of the staff who actually do the career development with the students, and then the ones in the middle are kind of the middle management, except for the counselor. That is going to be specific to academic, career, and mental health counseling, and all of these services do fall under student services. So the biggest position dedicated to career development would be the counselor at BTC. Cheryl shared that about 3 years ago, they had a counselor retire after many, many years of service who had been doing it and just connected with the students forever. And within these last 3 years, they've had 4 different counselors kind of interim filling the positions, or one was a full-time position but didn't stay long. So it's been hard for students to connect again with the counseling services, but they're definitely working on that. So the counselor at BTC would be the main career counseling or career development contact, but they're also the mental health contact, emergency services, disability services. So they do so much besides career counseling that Cheryl kind of shared. The career part really is not as utilized as intended with this position. And that's where these other positions come in, where it might not be within their job description or what they signed up to do, but it is kind of an expectation. So being a technical college, BTC is very workforce oriented. The goal is to get students jobs in their industry. They have currently is a 77% placement rate within 9 months of graduation within your field, which 77 doesn't seem stellar, but when you do look across the board at different campuses, it is quite high, and some programs are even like HVAC it's a 97% placement rate. Students don't even graduate because they're getting scooped up by employers beforehand. So Cheryl kind of said something that really resonated with me. I used to work at BTC as an admission specialist, and she said that getting students the jobs once they have chosen their program is not necessarily the hard part for BTC. It's making sure that the program is a right fit for the student in the beginning. And so that's where the admission specialist, the workforce navigator, and the advisors and coaches all come in to make sure that this is a good fit, because we know we're going to get you a job in the long run, basically. So advisors meet with currently enrolled students but they could be undecided still. They could be working on prerequisites for programs. So they definitely are doing a lot of career exploration, even though the students already passed the admission steps and enrolled. Or they could be halfway through their program and realize it's not right for them, and so they have to backtrack. The advisors also do the mock interviews for students and resume critique, application review, all kinds of stuff. So they are pretty focused in the career side, but they definitely make referrals out to the counselor when needed. The admissions specialist is also known as like a recruiter, admissions counselor at many colleges. And at BTC, I think it's even more critical that they are very in tune and know what's going on with their programs, because students are potentially entering straight into the program. There might not be prerequisites, and they need to know long term, what does this program do? What pathway does it get you to? So an example that I know as being an admission specialist, and Cheryl talked about as well, is if a student comes to a recruiter or an admission specialist and says, I want to be a veterinarian, they need to know the pathway for that and the career map for that. So a veterinarian, a likely pathway would not be veterinary technician. And that's often what people think, that it's kind of like, oh, this is the stepping stone to become a veterinarian, and it's actually the really, really long backwards way to do that. So they do need to have a really good understanding, I think, a better understanding than maybe a transfer college or a community college than the technical college. And it's something that students, when they meet with you, expect you to know. They don't know that maybe you're not a career counselor. They are there and they need your help, and they want you to know all the answers. So workforce navigators and coaches are very similar to advisors and admission specialists in a way, but they work with specific populations. So a workforce navigator, as soon as a person identifies that they could qualify for opportunity grant, worker retraining, BFET, basic food employment and training, work first, passport to college if they're a veteran, if they may be a dreamer, if they're a dislocated homemaker, if they have conviction history, we pass them straight to workforce navigators. And so the navigator will help them with all the admissions process, especially the funding process. It's a wraparound service. They're their advisor, they're their career counselor, they're their coach, and they really serve those students in a wraparound way. Coaches are specifically for two grants that BTC has, and it's the TRIO grant and the STAR grant, which many colleges, I'm sure, have those as well. So for students to qualify for either of those grants, they need to be either first generation, have a limited income, or a documented disability, whether it's physical, medical, psychological, or learning. And there's potential for them to qualify, but it is a limited grant, so there's like 160 seats a year. So the coaches, again, act very much as advisors, and career advisors especially. They're really doing more of the career preparation and navigation, and they, again, make referrals to the academic advisors or career counselors when necessary. I kind of touched on some of these before, but the resources BTC offers, first of all, they have a really great website for current students or future students if they know how to navigate themselves there on different resources. They have like, I don't know, maybe a 30, 40 link list of free online resources, assessments, all kinds of great stuff. They offer career exploration appointments where they take the Holland Codes quiz, which I think a lot of us did in this class. And then it gives them the programs that BTC offers. And Cheryl did share with me that in those appointments, if the student's not excited or passionate about any of BTC's offerings, they'll look in other places. And this appointment, like, you don't have to come to BTC or stay at BTC. They're just trying to help you figure out what's best for you. So they also offer job search help, resume critique, mock interviews, and then resources for special populations. So specifically on their website, they have a tab called Barriers, and it's advice and resources for students with conviction histories, and just some best practices for them when they're looking for jobs and what to say in interviews or on applications and that kind of stuff. So it's a really great and robust resource, I think. I really enjoyed being able to interview Cheryl and learn more about the career side, because when I worked at BTC, I was in admissions strictly, and did not spend a lot of time on the exit points and the career points. So it was good to learn more about that and see what BTC is doing these days and stay connected with everyone there.